Good day. I'm Charles Dickens. Yes, that Charles Dickens, the fellow who wrote about Oliver Twist and the fog of Victorian London. But today, I'm here to talk about your world. In my time, the steam engine mechanized the muscle. In yours, the search engine mechanizes the mind. Welcome to my series where we'll examine your digital revolution through the lens of my novels. Because history doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes. And the rhyme scheme between 1850 and 2026 is rather disturbing. Shall we begin? Modesty aside, I was perhaps history's first global influencer. 76 readings on one American tour. $19,000 earned. Not bad for a Victorian. The Sam Weller bump, when I introduced Sam Weller in the Pickwick Papers, publishing exploded. I pioneered serialization, using cliffhanger endings to keep audiences coming back for the next installment. Sound familiar? I created a shared signal across society, using my platform to expose inequality. That's why I'm the ideal lens for your media-saturated age. 1.2 million followers. Well, in Victorian terms. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. My opening to A Tale of Two Cities. Look at this graph. The 1800s, my industrial revolution, wage inequality soared. And now? Your digital revolution traces an eerily similar curve. UK wage inequality rising faster than comparator countries. The difference? My era mechanized muscle. Yours mechanizes mind. The digital revolution creates a divide between those who own the algorithms and those managed by them. History repeats. But this time, in code. In Bleak House, London's fog symbolized the Court of Chancery's institutional murk. Nobody could see how justice worked. Today, you have a different fog. Data clouds. These black box algorithms determine creditworthiness, hiring decisions, masking hidden biases behind complex code. Like the Chancery, algorithms don't explain their judgments. You're rejected. You don't know why. You're scored low. You can't see how. Without transparency, there is no justice. At 12, I worked in Warren's blacking warehouse. The secret agony of my soul. It shaped my life. In that factory, children labeled bottles all day. We were cogs in the machine. In 2026, the factory moved inside the computer. The gig economy. Precarity. Victorian industrial rust. 0 hours work. Lowest persistence of employment. 0 hours contracts. Workers earn on average $5 less per hour than employees. The human toll. No words can express the secret agony of my soul. The factory didn't disappear. It digitized. Please, sir, I want some more. When Oliver asked for another bowl of gruel, it was radical. The poor laws made relief punitive. Today's workers ask for transparency in probabilistic algorithms. The median hourly wage for 0 hours workers is very close to minimum wage. They're asking for more just to survive cost of living increases. Oliver was just hungry. But the system criminalized his need. Today's workers just want fairness. But algorithms treat them as data points. Asking for more is still radical, because the system still says no. The class divide didn't disappear. It digitized. Victorian Poor Laws, 1834. Classification, deserving versus undeserving poor. Mechanism, legal fictions. Outcome, social exclusion based on birth status. Algorithmic profiling, 2026. Classification, data owners versus data subjects. Mechanism, credit scores, zip code profiling, data shadows. Outcome, economic exclusion based on predictive modeling. Just as Victorian law erased individual rights through status, algorithms create a digital underclass, excluded from opportunity by data they cannot control. This isn't progress. This is the automation of 19th century oppression. In hard times, Coketown's factory owners called workers hands, mere appendages of the machine. Today, platforms call them partners or users, yet manage them via probabilistic algorithms. The app dictates the route, fee, and pace, turning individuals into functional subjects of a digital logistics system. From anatomical hand to networked brain, the form changed, but the essence remains. Humans are still hands. They just follow digital signals now. Remember Scrooge? He wasn't just mean. He represented the financialization of humanity, a utilitarian optimized for surplus. Today, the AI Scrooge model optimizes for shareholder value at worker wages expense. 119.1, the median ratio of CEO pay to median UK full-time worker pay. This mirrors the 19th century surplus population theory. Scrooge said the poor should die to decrease the surplus population. Today, AI classifies workers as inefficient and optimizes them out of the system. Scrooge wasn't evil. He was doing what the system demanded. Today, that system is written in code. In A Christmas Carol, Marley's ghost dragged heavy chains, forged in life, from the tools of his greed. Our modern chains are made of training data. If we train AI on historical data containing past biases, we automate prejudice. Without changing the code, the future becomes an automated haunting of past injustices. AI learns from the past. If that past is discriminatory, we automate racism, sexism, class oppression. Marley's chains were at least visible. Today's chains hide in algorithms, but the weight is equally real. Remember Mr. Gradgrind in Hard Times? Now, what I want is facts. Facts alone are wanted in life. Gradgrind saw arithmetic, but missed the subtle essences of humanity. Look at this graph. Productivity, efficiency, rising human sentiment, empathy. Flat data replacing mercy leads to zero-hour contract culture. Algorithms dictate shifts, seeing latency errors rather than human struggle. Imagination is starved down for computation. Zero-hour contracts offer flexibility to some, but trap the vulnerable in cycles of poverty. Some things don't appear on graphs, but they're the most important things. This is the fundamental question. I argued that a loving heart is the truest wisdom. Wisdom is distinct from intelligence. We can prompt an LLM to simulate condolences, but it cannot feel. An AI manager can route an ambulance efficiently, saving a life, but it will never hold your hand, caring for a life. We optimize the head, but starve the soul. Technical limits, efficiency, possible. Optimization, possible. Compassion, impossible. That's why humans still matter. In A Tale of Two Cities, I wrote about division between Paris and London. Today there's a new geography. Look at this map. London and Silicon Valley global tech hubs. Top 1% characteristics: disproportionately male, London-based income source, dividends and partnerships, capital over labor. Wealth accumulation mirrors the Victorian rentier class. We see a split between data owners, capital, and data subjects, labor, with the inequality gap widening faster in the UK than in comparator countries. A Tale of Two Cities ended in revolution. How will our story end? In A Tale of Two Cities, civilization folded because it could not bridge the gap between classes. The aristocracy ignored the rumbling earth beneath them. Today, we face a technical threshold. When algorithms determine creditworthiness and social standing without transparency, resentment builds. We are forging the precursors to a digital revolution. We must build bridges, not just firewalls. History repeats itself. For the ignorant, the question, will we learn or will we repeat? In Hard Times, the goal was to crush wonder to produce functional subjects. Are we doing the same with facts-only AI education? Left, children in VR headsets, AI teacher, screen reading standardized output, 100%. Right, a child alone under a lamp, drawing with crayons. Humans cannot outcalculate a GPU. If we train children only to compete with calculators, they lose. We must nurture fancy, creativity, and moral courage, the traits the machine lacks. Teach what machines cannot do. David Copperfield is my most autobiographical work. David asked if he would be the hero of his own life. Left, Victorian workhouse children. I felt my early hopes crushed, becoming a little laboring hind. Right, modern gig worker with smartphone, surrounded by algorithms and efficiency icons. The gig economy offers flexibility, but often imposes algorithmic management and precarious work. The challenge is to navigate this digital landscape without losing one's autonomy to data-driven control. To be a hero today is to resist being a data point. Are you the hero of your own life, or someone else's dataset? In A Christmas Carol, the ghost of Christmas yet to come approached. On the brow of ignorance and want, I saw doom written, unless the writing be erased. Look at this image, a digital ghost pointing to a tombstone reading, human dignity, ignorance of data usage, want of human connection. The ghost warns of a cold, automated haunting where society is efficient but heartless. We must grab the pen and write a different ending. The writing can still be erased, but we must act now. The future is not yet written. At the heart of my works was an ethic of coexistence. Look at this image, a Victorian family gathered around a hearth, reading together. Warmth, togetherness, human connection. Key concept, social ROI, return on inclusion. Break the link between background and opportunity. We need an ethic of coexistence. Technology should be the hearth around which we gather, warming us, not the furnace that consumes us. When designing algorithms, ask not just about profit, but social ROI. Does this increase inclusion? Does it protect dignity? Does it strengthen community? If not, we must redesign. Technology is a tool. How we use it defines who we are. We've reached journey's end. Look at this image, a heart with a brain inside, the fusion of intelligence and compassion. The lesson is simple yet infinite. Wisdom requires the capacity to suffer and rejoice, something no neural network can learn. True progress lies in fostering human dignity. The wisdom of the heart must do what the algorithm cannot: forgive, dream, and care for those who cannot keep up. What I learned 150 years ago is this: technology can advance, society can evolve, but the importance of the human heart never changes. AI can process data, but it cannot love. AI can optimize efficiency, but it cannot empathize. AI can predict the future, but it cannot protect humanity. That's our job. My message to you: write code, build systems, innovate. But never ever forget that a loving heart is the truest wisdom. That was the truth of my age, it's the truth of yours, and it will be the truth of every age to come. Thank you, and let us build a more human future together.